Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back. Um, I think we are going to start the next phase of this operation, and that is going to be going to this base up here. Let's see, where's my window? Here, let's go. Oh, it's just so foggy out. Oof. Looks like a typical day in Seattle. Okay, so I want to build a base on that mesa up there. And I also want to learn from my mistakes in this one. So I'm just going to walk around the base and try to do an honest assessment of, things I think I did right, things I think I did wrong. And I also have sketched out on just with paper and pencil some ideas for the space up here. I think the main thing that I would like to do better, and this seems to be an ongoing thing that I seem to keep having to learn in this game, is to just make a lot more space. It almost always ends up that I am just cramped for space when trying to add something new, so I want to make it a lot bigger, a lot more spread out. So let's just go from end to end and see what we can. I think powered should be farther away. So of course we've got these little guns. For the next base, I want to have some pointing up and some pointing to the side. I'm actually going to, while I'm saying this, write a couple things down to see if we can make something really... okay, I can't find any pepper. Never mind, it'll be fine. So... I like this idea, the food plus solar. I just wanted to be farther away. Maybe have one on each side. And same thing with wind. Maybe have, I think, a couple towers on each side. Should be enough, at least for the start. Okay, so... go for a classic computer. Okay. Power. Extended away on both sides. Sorters. They're going to be algae sorters. Near power. That'll keep the spine clean, so to speak. Then, okay, so we've got... Let's just try that. This was not a good idea. What was it? Something like 2. There we go, that's fine. Okay. I was gonna say that green is hard to read, but it's just that my glasses are dirty. Okay. Continuing. this kind of stuff, like I don't want to do. I want to have a plan for things like controllers, have an actual control room for controllers and event controllers, turret controllers, timer blocks, that sort of thing. This was just a little add-on that we never quite finished. I do kind of like the sort of idea of having just random rover bays. I like that it doesn't look too, perfect. And then this was just an idea for a welder wall. We can actually create a real welder wall, which will be great for when we build a big ship. What was the other thing?
Fuel low.
Uh-oh.
Fuel critical.
Yeah, just having... Oops. I do want to keep, more critical things kind of better hidden and protected. Like having real sections for stuff, like sections of the base or whatever. I want to just have a nicer looking interior at some point, like just something that's designed to look good from the inside. This is fine, but it's, pretty haphazard. Interior turrets are okay, I guess. Go up with a color pattern, a color palette. Food. I want things to be accessible. Excuse me. Let's see. I don't know what to call these items. Living blocks, working blocks. Sort of the no jetpack option. That's what we'll call it. The NJO. It is kind of annoying how if you're in control, it goes to the place before the space instead of at the beginning of the word. That is very non-standard. It seems like that would be an easy fix. I think that among my 6 subscribers, there probably aren't any devs listening, but you never know. I do want to have kind of create some importance around the main cargo container. Excuse me one second. This is sort of something that I don't know, seems important. especially if we're doing sorters, to have that be where you can go, look at. Let's make an actual, like a real living quarters. AKA a nice view. Okay, continuing. Let's look around. I mean, this is fine, being able to just walk up here, but it would be kind of cooler to have, ladders or something, because, I like these lights. I'd like to use stuff like this around the base more. What are those called? I think those are floodlights. Also around the power. One. And probably two. That'll make sense. And you probably want those inside. Of the defenses. I mean, you still need some close, but I think it'll be close enough. Okie dokie. I want to eventually have a drone that carries hydrogen up to this base. I've already written that down in the to-do list anyway, so. Yeah, I like the way that, like the really good designers design things where there's, catwalks around the edge. It just looks kind of more like a real base, and not like something that's been sort of hashed together. So let's have a definite spine. Let's actually begin with a spine. And by spine, I mean a conveyor spine. The one that doesn't have any sorters in it. And then sorters are going to branch out from it and then send stuff back into it. And that should help keep everything free. See if we can do it. I want to have definite, well, I think we've got that idea already, definite areas for things. I was thinking of something else up here. Oh, also I want to have spine for ammo. Could be along the same one, but what I mean is plan for defenses. Okay. I also had a sort of a wild idea to use. I want to try just using Fibonacci numbers for all. For all my distances. So then Fibonacci is just starting with 1 and 1, and then adding the present number with the sum of the previous two numbers. So that means, 1 plus 1 is 2, oops. And then 2 plus 1 is 3, and then 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, and so on. Excuse me. And so what you get then is, 8, 13, 21, 34, 34, I believe 55. I think then it's, 89, and so on. So I want to use those kinds of distances. Oops. Like these kinds of numbers for height, these kinds of numbers for width, and getting, kind of larger and larger. We probably won't need anything higher than 55 or 89, but I want to try to incorporate that in this build. So that's sort of I guess you'd call it a structural component. So there we go. Put that near the top. And I want to just look at my paper notes real quick. I'll post a couple of screenshots of these paper notes. They're pretty ridiculous. Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll think about the sorters as well. It actually would have been a good idea to place this on something that's removable, and then we could just carry this up to the new base. Oh well. I'll mess with that. So let's see. So yeah, I do want to set up a real, I want to really try to make good use of sorters. We want to sort ore into refineries. And obviously that means going into a cargo, like ore storage. And we want to do the same with assembler. More than one assembler this time. And these, come from and go to the spine. That's the whole idea, is that the spine is the part where anything's accessible through the main cargo container. This is my vision. We'll see if we can pull it off. Excuse me. And then components, which pull into the main cargo, which is inside the spine. That's the part I'm not totally sure how to do. I mean, it's easy to have it just go right, from the assemblers, pushing out of the assemblers into the main. But then getting them within this, I think, would require some timers, getting them within the free thing to sort of pull everything into that central container, if that makes any sense. So those are the main ones. And then we also need ammo, food, actually ice, which affects both food and hydrogen. And then also for future use, we will need some uranium storage. So those are the sorters that we would need. And these are kind of the primary ones. These are the secondary ones, so to speak. So ammo would go into, and then just back into the spine where it can be freely accessed. So it's not pushing. This indicates pushing. It's not pushing, it's just there, so then from there it can go back. Just should sort everything where it needs to be. Ice should just get pushed toward a big ice storage thing, and then it doesn't get pushed into food or hydrogen because it'll do that automatically. And then if and when uranium comes into the base, it should just get pushed into a cargo, and then from there it can go where it's needed. I hope that makes sense. And then if we wanted to get fancy, we could add hand tools. You know, that could include things like, clang cola, whatever, random stuff. Can go, either they can get pushed into a cargo for, like, vending, or could just get pushed right into a basic assembler that's used for disassembling things. We'll have just a super tidy, it'll be the Marie Kondo of bases. That's sort of bonus, side quest bonus. Okay. So yeah, I know it's going over. Okay. Any other paper notes? No, I think I have some idea of kind of the general layout. Did I say automate food? I think I did, yeah. Okay, so that's the plan. That's a lot. Let's just look around the base a little more. I think it's pretty much, it. Maybe we'll drill underground to keep conveyor lines hidden this time, so it just looks a little more tidy. And then things like control blocks, I want them all in, kind of a common place, like a control room, which should be pretty big too, because we might end up needing quite a lot of them. And that's also where the turret controllers are going to be. Probably have some kind of desk type of situation. I was thinking about the idea of, having some kind of elevator or way to get down to the bottom in a rover, like some giant elevator that can take you down to this level from the top of the mesa. That may be kind of a bonus idea. It sounds like a lot of work. but then I guess that's what we're doing here, isn't it? Bonus is big elevator. Or some kind of... I mean, I don't know. There's the reason I think it's a bonus is because, you know, we're building this for getting to space, not for staying on the ground. So let's not even bother with... We'll have a rover, but just kind of something for, you know, grocery shopping, whatever. For going out and looking for plants. I'm going to have a dedicated, you know, dedicated medical area. So basically what that means, I think, is that we just need more space. We're going to use this
Fuel low.
miner to get up there.
Fuel critical.
And I think we can start by making just, you know, doing an assembler and refinery. That should be enough. Oh, and okay, that should be plenty. Oh, and we need power too. And construction components. Just the basic blueprint stuff. Okay. That's already a lot. Okay. So that's where we're going to get started. And if I did this right, I think we can just go hop in the ship up there. Because this is coming right off of the main cargo. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to try and do this more. Do a better job of this with the... Oh, I could have just hopped in the ship. A better job of this with the main cargo. The idea of having the main cargo thing be sort of central. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I would also like to at some point paint this ship. So let's look at just this ship. And yep, okay, we can't. Is that because, yeah, that's because of the, it's because this is mainly an ore ship. So that kind of changes things. I think that means we need to just bring the materials for an assembler and a bunch of ingots. That might make more sense. So how do we do that? Assembler. Oh, that. Let's see how much it would. Battery, or really, just some wind turbines. Oh, definitely need pipes. Yeah, or just bring the assembler and a bunch of iron. And we're also still close enough. I think it's really close. That's one thing, is I don't think that we can actually access ingots from here because of the way that the sorter is set up. That's something I'm hoping to change. Because this only lets out components. So I guess it would be pretty easy just to have a free-flowing one going back the other direction, which we could do if we had more space. Oh right, but then the thing with that is that it pulls and it creates a loop. So yeah, I think the best way to do that would be to just have a switchable thing. I think for now, what we can do to keep it simple is just make another. Isn't quite ready. Boy. Or actually, that can be a connector. Silly. Alright, now we should be able to get plenty of stuff. Let's put this stuff back. We'll have enough room just in the cockpit for all that. See how much of that we can get in. We'll do it through the. Now I believe withdraw components for a ladder, but not into here. How does this work? Maybe I need to put. Yeah. So will that work? So do I have to just do it by hand? I guess that's fine. I can just go on to that other one. And then if we have, let's see. Let's do this. Should make some food too. Are we there? Okay. All right. So with that method, we can definitely add a battery. A food processor. Maybe a few farm plots to get started. And a couple of these. Actually, you know what? We're going to have an assembler, so we don't need to actually bring all this. We definitely need a food processor. And a couple of algae farms just to get started. And then on top of that, bringing ingots, we should be fine. A few solar. Let's grab those. Is that it? Let that work for a minute. Pipes. Okay. We'll have, with the ingots, we should have plenty for that. We do need a few to get started, though. Conveyor junction and I mean that should cover most of the other stuff. We need a connector. Actually, let's do this too. I think it's Control. That's 10 or Control Shift. Control. Alright, that should be plenty. And then I think we can pull ingots in. I guess it's all the excavator. So we definitely need a bunch of iron. Yep, that works. We can just take all this. Nickel. Fills up pretty fast. Some of the gold. Silicon. Cobalt. Magnesium. Heavy components. Especially that silicon. Oh, here we go. There's room here. It's almost everything. We could even take the gravel if we wanted. Okay, that is a full ship. Yeah, it is pretty full. Is it even capable of flying? Oh yeah, it's really full. It's not gonna fly. Okay. Oh, we can do that. Is there room to add a couple of thrusters there? I think so. Make sure those are... I think that that's not in the way of the... No, it's not. What is in my inventory? Oh, metal crates. Is that because those are all there? Those are all there, okay. Don't need all that. Oh, I think it thinks I'm doing large grid ones. Here. There we go. Okay. We can lift off. It's really draining the battery. Ooh. Yeah, that's not super easy to drive. Let's go down here. I need to add a little bit more battery power. There's room to do it right in there. Oops. That's what I like. get us there. Should probably just bring all of this. Okay. Plates. That should be fine to get us started, maybe. Okay. I think we are ready to begin the journey. All right. Smell you later, first base. Oh, okay. It's a lot more. It's still not very responsive. What do I have my gyro set at? Oh yeah, really low power. Let's put it at like 35. Yeah, I'm still using my battery up a lot. So we were thinking about there, or over there. I also thought it was this area. Wouldn't be a bad idea to just slap a solar panel on top of this ship. Being extra careful because this is really heavy. Wait, what happened? Did I lose all my stuff? Oh my goodness. No. How did that happen? Ugh. Okay. I thought it was not pulling stuff. That's super annoying. Okay. So we have to start all over with that. Anyway, let's hop out and take a look. Actually, right in this little kind of curve would be a cool place. Oof. This would be a cool spot. not too far from the other base. That's one option. Alright, we're back. This is actually a pretty nice upgrade to the ship, having these extra thrusters on it. I think maybe let's try checking out that mesa over there as well. Just see if that might be a better spot. Call it higher peak syndrome or whatever. Get to a high spot, you see another high spot, you want to get to that spot. There goes our home base. We're still a reasonable distance away. I mean, this is almost like a landmark. It's just a lonely mesa. Which would be potentially, I think, pretty easy to see from space, too. Looks like it has some resources on it. You can kind of see all the planets from here. This is pretty cool. If you don't mind me saying so. It's probably better to be not driving around with all that stuff until we actually decide where we're going to be. Considering that I'm not the greatest spaceship driver. Let's see what's over here. Oh, I think I have signals turned off. Maybe I need them on. Yeah, okay, silver. Yeah. Excuse me one sec.
There's just a little bit. We could like break up some apples and then
Okay, I'm back, and I just had a momentous occasion of teenagers who want to hang out with me, so I'm gonna go hang out with a couple of teenagers. My teenagers, that is. Um, and I just want to see what's right here. And then I'm gonna just pause right here and come back. Let's see, what do we have? Oh, iron. That's iron and cobalt. Those are very useful. And nickel. Cool. I think this could, somewhere around here would be a really good spot. So I'm just gonna park. We'll call this new base location. Turn that purple. There we go. Was not expecting that. Time to go.